99% of men overlook this completely. Yet, it is often the very thing that naturally captures a woman's attention. At first, it might sound exaggerated, but think about it carefully. How many men have you seen who are attractive, ambitious, and financially successful, yet somehow fail to build deep, meaningful connections with women? The truth is simple. Attraction is rarely determined by looks, money, or status alone. Those things may create initial interest, but they don't create emotional impact. What truly makes someone unforgettable are the small, subtle behaviors that most people never notice. These quiet habits operate beneath conscious awareness. They communicate something deeper than words ever can. They speak directly to emotions and instincts. And perhaps the most surprising part is that none of these habits are difficult to learn. They don't require expensive gifts, manipulative tactics, or years of experience. They simply require awareness, authenticity, and the willingness to rise above the superficial patterns that trap most men. Today, we're going to explore 5 things women secretly crave, even though they rarely say them directly. These aren't ordinary dating tricks or rehearsed pickup lines. They are timeless psychological principles, supported by human nature and Stoic wisdom. When understood properly, they can completely change how women experience your presence. Because the attraction that truly matters isn't temporary interest that fades when you leave the room. It's the kind of impression that lingers in her thoughts for days, weeks, and even months afterward. That's the kind of connection that leaves a lasting mark. Before we continue, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss insights that can transform the way you approach relationships and self-development. Let's begin. The first secret is the power of gentle touch before intimacy. Imagine you're sitting across from a woman on a date. The conversation is enjoyable. You're both laughing and sharing stories, and everything seems pleasant. Yet somehow, something feels incomplete. The connection hasn't fully come alive. Later, you walk her home, send a message, and never hear back. This happens because many men believe attraction is built entirely through conversation. They assume that if they say the right words, tell funny stories, or appear interesting enough, connection will naturally happen. But human beings connect emotionally in much deeper ways. Women don't only remember what you say, they remember how they felt around you. They remember your energy, your presence, and how comfortable they felt in your company. One of the most overlooked ways to strengthen emotional connection is through appropriate, respectful touch. Not aggressive touch, not touch with hidden expectations. Simply natural gestures that feel comfortable and sincere. A light touch on her arm while laughing, briefly holding her hand as you cross the street, gently guiding her through a crowded place with your hand on her back. These small moments often communicate far more than endless conversation. Without saying a word, they can communicate, I'm present, I care about your comfort, you are safe around me. The mistake most men make is attaching expectations to touch. They use it because they want something in return. Women can sense that immediately. Instead of creating comfort, it creates tension and pressure. But when a man can offer warmth and presence without demanding anything back, he becomes different. He creates an atmosphere of emotional safety, and safety is one of the deepest foundations of genuine attraction. Think about it carefully. Those small gestures aren't simply physical contact. They communicate confidence, awareness, and emotional intelligence. They silently suggest that you are grounded and attentive. It's a language that exists beyond words, and women have responded to it instinctively throughout history. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Stop arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. A good man is calm, aware, and respectful." Most men never fully understand this principle, which is why they struggle to build lasting connections. But the men who understand it become unforgettable because they realize something essential. Attraction isn't a transaction, it's an experience, and that experience often begins in the smallest, quietest moments. The second secret is the art of respectful flirting. Most men fall into one of two extremes. Either they flirt excessively and appear desperate, or they become so reserved that they never express interest at all. Real attraction lives somewhere between those extremes. Women enjoy playful interactions when they feel natural, relaxed, and respectful. Flirting isn't about memorizing clever lines, it's about creating positive, emotional energy. It's about making the interaction feel warm, light, and enjoyable, while allowing curiosity to develop naturally. Imagine she mentions that she loves Italian food. Most men would simply agree and move on. A man who understands subtle flirtation might smile and say, "Maybe you haven't tasted my homemade pasta yet." It's playful, it shows personality, and it opens the door to further conversation. The biggest mistake many men make is seeking approval. They say something playful and then anxiously wait to see whether she was impressed. Ironically, that need for validation weakens attraction. True confidence appears when you can enjoy the interaction regardless of the outcome. Eye contact also plays an important role. Hold her gaze naturally for a few moments. Look away briefly, then reconnect. That small amount of tension creates curiosity and communicates calm confidence. This balance is incredibly attractive, showing interest without becoming needy, expressing attraction without desperation, creating intrigue without manipulation. This is where Stoic philosophy becomes especially powerful. The Stoics understood that confidence comes from within. It comes from knowing your value independent of anyone else's approval. When you truly understand that, flirting becomes effortless. You're no longer trying to prove your worth. You're simply sharing your authentic personality, and authenticity has a magnetic quality that cannot be faked. The third secret is the power of active listening. It sounds simple, yet in today's world, genuine listening has become surprisingly rare. Most people are distracted. Most people are simply waiting for their turn to speak. When you genuinely listen to a woman without interrupting, without rushing to solve her problems, and without immediately shifting the focus back to yourself, you'll give her something precious, your complete attention, and that is deeply attractive. Think about how meaningful it feels when someone truly listens to you, when they ask thoughtful questions, when they remember details you mentioned weeks ago, when they make you feel that your thoughts actually matter. That feeling creates emotional connection. Most men listen only so they can respond. Their minds are already preparing their next statement. They're physically present, but mentally absent. But when you listen with curiosity and empathy, you become someone different. You become someone she trusts, someone who genuinely sees her, not only her appearance, but also her thoughts, experiences, dreams, and concerns. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." That wisdom remains remarkably relevant. Women constantly encounter people who want to impress them, persuade them, or talk about themselves. A man who sincerely listens stands apart from the crowd. He becomes memorable because he makes people feel understood. The fourth secret is emotional stability. Life is unpredictable. Plans change. People arrive late. Disagreements happen. Emotions shift. These moments reveal character. Most people react impulsively. They become defensive, irritated, or anxious. They allow external circumstances to control their internal state. But emotionally stable men behave differently. They pause, they breathe, they remain calm. They respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. They don't raise their voice. They don't become passive-aggressive. They don't create emotional chaos. This calm energy creates a feeling of safety and stability that women deeply appreciate. In an increasingly uncertain world, a person who remains composed during difficult moments becomes extremely valuable. He becomes someone others can rely on, someone who faces challenges with grace and strength. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This captures emotional stability perfectly, being fully present without being shaken by uncertainty. This quality is deeply attractive because it signals inner strength. It communicates that you possess a stable foundation and can handle life's difficulties without losing yourself. The fifth and final secret is knowing when to step back. This principle may be the most difficult to understand, yet it is often the most powerful. A man who knows his worth doesn't chase endlessly. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't abandon his principles simply to keep someone interested. He understands that his time, attention, and energy have value. He offers them willingly, but not desperately. When you step back from situations that lack mutual effort and respect, not from anger, but from self, you communicate something important. You communicate independence. You communicate that your happiness does not depend entirely on another person. You have your own purpose, your own goals, your own mission, and that independence is incredibly attractive. Desperation pushes people away. Self-respect draws people closer. This is one of the most fundamental truths of human psychology. When you show that you are genuinely content with your own life, pressure disappears, and in that space, curiosity often grows. People begin to wonder what gives you such security. That curiosity is frequently the beginning of genuine attraction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is the ultimate secret, not needing another person's validation to feel complete. Choosing to share your life with someone because you want to, not because you need to. That is the kind of man who leaves a lasting impression. The kind of man who is remembered long after he has gone. The kind of man who doesn't need to chase because his sense of worth comes from within. And once you understand these 5 principles and genuinely incorporate them into your life, your relationships, your confidence, and the way others experience your presence will never be the same.